Val's in that headspace.
All right.
Oh, before we switch over,
We're over,
guys.
Sorry.
Team, players, companions. We are thinking not like hammers, right? Did we learn this from last week? From 3 weeks ago, a month ago?
I don't know. Hammer is definitely
played
about
last
the
time?
level we're at.
We're no longer thinking like hammers, right?
No. I think I am still thinking like a hammer, but I now have a direction or a nail to hit. Is that correct, or is there some other mechanic that I'm missing?
You only know hammer.
I don't know, guys. I think we should just keep beating the shit out of the bull.
Yeah.
Well, now I feel like I need to beat the shit out of this diamond that magically appeared in this
Only
smoke
when he
that
breathes
keeps trying to
breath on us.
petrify us.
Let's put it like a rough estimation. Let's play like maybe 3 hours tonight. But are we gonna just beat it for 3 hours? Or are we just gonna beat a dead horse?
Look,
Okay. All right. Well,
it's a dead
is there something else?
David he needed to get his like bloodlust out.
Question.
So you're welcome.
He wanted a dungeon crawl. He got it.
Can I ask a question about the weakness?
You
of
and the green screen.
Weakness of the thing. Will it be weakened by soliloquies of character backstories mid fight?
100%.
Okay.
If you go into backstories, it will die immediately. All right, so everybody, welcome back to M&A&D&D episode 97. We're gonna call this one Over the Hedge.
I thought it was a diamond in the mist.
Oh damn!
No, that was the name we gave last time at the end of
Did we?
last.
Okay, diamonds in the mist.
Last week was all blues, no clues, and now it's a diamond in the mist.
Clues,
And now I can't make squirrel joke.
Yeah, because you don't need to make squirrel jokes. A diamond in the mist opens up Aladdin. All of Aladdin is explicitly better than Over the Hedge.
I'm sorry.
Did you say?
Wait, no, hold on. Did you just reference my reference to Over the Hedge?
Yeah,
I love that movie.
Yeah, but like you literally just said
I have some coffee right here.
It was a comic strip. It was a comic strip starring a raccoon.
To be fair,
I think the movie was based off of that like classic comics.
All right,
we also said someone said a whole new world earlier before we started streaming. So I'm just saying, Aladdin is on the top of our minds.
It in your head?
Still in my head.
Yeah, someone said it today at work, and I haven't stopped. Anyways, we're off to a great start. Everybody, welcome back to episode 98. No time for squirrels.
Wait, how did we get to 98? We were just on 96.
Because we're doing awesome. We're moving along, people. We're moving along.
How do you keep coming
the last
up with
time we
missing
saw.
numbers?
Anyways, welcome everybody to episode 99. Almost at 100, guys.
Last episode
do
was
a sub
so
train.
long. We lost. We skipped ahead a few episodes.
It literally took like episodes off of our lives.
Episode 101. Have they got it yet? No, we are. Last time we saw M&A, they had entered yet another hedge maze. Only because of amazing planning by the DM. They have entered a one that is much more barbaric and puzzly than the one that they had encountered in the Feywild. Upon entering a center of the maze, they found a sundial, and kind of after some investigation, they chose a direction in which to travel, and they encountered yet another hedge maze. So if you're tracking, that's 3
sundials. You mean?
Nope, this was the hedge maze, and running rampant through the hedge maze was a gorgon, which I always assumed looked
Like Medusa.
Well, it looked like some kind of triangle-shaped beast that would set off every time you jumped inside of a
cave.
Yeah. Turns out it looks like a metal bull, and just like that metal bullshit, it seems as though the group has now understood that attacking this bull has not gotten them any closer to escaping. After battling fiercely and ferociously for hours and hours and hours and hours, they seem to have seen something sparkling in the midst of this kind of chaotic spewing mist that would arise every time that this Gorgon would attack. A diamond would apparate, and over time would disapparate. And that's where we're going to pick up.
The bomb camera is the only thing like on the screen.
All right. So we find ourselves in the midst of this battle. You guys only just now have experienced this cold storm kind of like creep out, and you see this Gorgon, this giant metal bull, trying to escape ferociously, but it slides as you guys have finally kind of outsmarted it in the sense that it is no longer, its mobility has been hindered. And as it tries to escape, you finally start to notice that there's this sparkling light, this tinge of light refracted that hovers over the ground and slowly starts to disappear. I'm going to give you guys a chance to talk before we go back into the rotation. The rotation is going to be Valen, Vamel, Val, Astrid, DW, and then the Gorgon.
So, are we planning to try and smash this diamond, or are we planning to try and grab this diamond?
I think we should hit the bull.
Perhaps looking through the diamond will see through the illusions.
That would require you to be able to go grab it.
Then let us go grab it.
Isn't it?
What's
is it not
the circle again?
I think that's the sleet storm or ice storm that Valen put up.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's already gone. I think it's like one turn of terrain, uneven terrain or whatever it's called. Sorry. Viva, just for edification, the diamond appears. Is it just floating in the mist still? Like the mist is actively still sitting there, or is it appear in the mist and the mist dissipates and the diamond just sits there for X amount of time? I'm sorry for asking some questions, but I just want to clarify that.
I mean, these are all rolls I think you should take.
That's fine. I'll roll for it.
Okay.
What roll would you like?
I would like you to roll an investigation check.
Finally, do some investigation.
Ooh, okay. Someone came into play. So you see this kind of apparate, right? And that mist that has in the past paralyzed your companions is hindered their movements as well. It starts to dissipate and sink into the grounds, and almost gets sucked back into the hedge maze itself. And just for a brief couple seconds, this diamond sits there before slowly kind of disapparating itself.
All right, we have a few seconds to either grab it or attack the diamond before it disappears after the mist appears. So for those that are close, they can try to grab it. And for those that are farther away, we might be able to just try to strike it. We can try all of the above. Can I ask a quick condition check on Astrid? Are you still restrained, or did you shake that your last turn?
My last Constitution save was a 15. I think.
Okay, so that would have broken it if you had it. David's is a 12 on screen in the last roll. So did David fail a Constitution save?
I
I attacked.
don't have any. I don't have any conditions. I think that was for falling over
Okay.
when he charged us, but I could be wrong. Looking.
The reason I'm asking is if you're restrained, you can't move because your speed is 0. But if all of you can move, then we're okay.
I don't have notes on if I were or not, and I didn't mark it down if I was. So I don't think I was, because I would have marked it if I did.
At the end of last game, you guys had actually all gotten to your feet and had been able to kind of turn the tide. Valen's ice blast created the opportunity for you guys to see this thing finally start to kind of run from you. And its movement like completely hindered in this way.
So I think other than missing HP, I think we're all up.
Okay, sounds good.
But it also looks like Terry is taking a call, so I don't know when he's back.
So Valen's gonna hold his turn. Valmont, you're more than welcome to move.
I am going for the diamond. Straight up.
It's outside of your movement.
It is currently.
I'm only moving. I'm not attacking. I'm just gonna dash and dash back.
So your actions to dash.
Mm-hmm.
He makes it there. Yeah. He thinks. Grab it.
Okay, so you run forward with full dash, correct? And where do you plan on landing?
And I'll just keep going and prepare to get. Basically, I'm going to use the forward momentum to get as far as I can. So I think I might end up around there. But basically, just, think of it like a rugby move. Move forward, pick up the diamond, just keep going. So if I end up being chased by it, I can then hopefully survive long enough to throw the diamond to somebody else.
Okay, so you're taking full movement, so that's
60 feet.
Movement and dash. Do you have an action to try to pick
His
something
action
up?
is dash.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're just running straight through like a kind of like a metal bull, if
Yeah.
I could use that analogy.
Sure.
All right,
Seems a little on the head, but I'll allow it.
All right.
I'm back.
So I don't think you could actually try to reach to grab it because
Okay. Well, then I'll just protect it. Like, he'll just set up shop and...
you're going to try to stop. Okay, so what I would like you to do is so if you're going to try to stop on this diamond, I would like you to roll an acrobatics, because what you're doing is running at full speed onto a very icy plane and saying you're going to stop on
That's
a
fair.
diamond. On a
Acrobatics
I'm
or
balancing
athletics?
on that diamond.
diamond.
That's fair.
I'm going to do acrobatics.
Can I do
No,
athletics?
athletics. No, yeah.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
Woo.
Damn.
What happens is, as you go to stop, you slide a little bit and you bump right into the ass of this Gorgon.
That's fine.
Sets you within feet of the diamond, but you have overshot this particular point by a couple feet. Okay, so I'm gonna. Where are you at, by the way?
He's underneath
He's on top of.
Yep. So I'm gonna put you like right here. All right. So as you go to stop on this diamond, you slide past it. This big frame as you butt up against this thing, and it's still kind of kicking and trying to move away from you. Valen, you had been holding your turn, and unfortunately, you were down here, correct?
No, Valen was over there.
Oh,
Here.
he was up here. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm the
Here.
only, I just
Yeah.
moved my box
Alright.
up so I can see a little bit better.
Gotcha. Okay, that's what that was.
I'm moving
All right.
myself a little bit, just so we can have some visual on screen.
Okay.
But I marked where I am. I'm right here.
Mm-hmm. Villain, so that'll be your turn.
Okay. All right. We try hitting the diamond, but it didn't shatter, right?
No, we haven't tried yet.
We have not.
We haven't tried it.
Nope.
Is there a tool for me to create light? Find if it's diamond and crystallized structure, that might have something to do with the light. Let me give me a minute to go through my equipment. Sorry. Pure Hospo. Okay. I have candle, and I'm gonna try to lit the candle and find if the diamond would deflect the light of the candle to a certain direction. Because my assumption is that the diamonds might be the breadcrumb to lead us out of the maze if we can use the reflection of light source out of it as a guide.
Okay.
So I'm gonna get close. So the diamond is right here?
Underneath the bowl.
It is like right at the tip of the hammer in between Vamel and the tip of that hammer. Right near the boat talks.
Where's Bommel? I can't. Oh, okay. I see.
You can clearly see
Inside the
very
bowl.
definite hammer.
Ew, okay. And then, okay, shit. You know what? Yeah. Well, I still have a that later. So I'm gonna get close and place the candle around the diamond and see if the light would shift direction or it would fixate it in one particular direction for its deflection. I would do a perception or investigation, GM. DM.
Perception.
Perception. All right.
There you go.
So what do I see?
So, as the light kind of sees through, and in the midst of all this chaos, you're able to kind of you see that the light starts to flicker on this diamond, and you almost see through this kind of multifaceted sides of these diamonds, you see, the reflection of the hedge maze, but on one side, in particular, the side that's facing you, you see as if like a path has opened up.
Woo! Which direction is the reflection of the path? Like toward this area?
It's kind of hard to tell.
Okay.
I would say it's that part you can't really tell.
Okay, so basically if we look into the diamond and find the path that's shown in the diamond, and we're supposed to be able to find a path out of here in reality, if we can find the correct location of the path in our reality, right? Is that the understanding?
I don't think it's your turn anymore. I don't know if you have time in your turn to have this conversation.
No, what I'm trying to understand is the situation you just described.
Right.
So
I think you just got some information, and that's all the information you have. I don't. It's
So what I'm doing is trying to make sense of what you just said. So you're saying when I look into the diamond, there is a particular area of the hedge maze that's either toward a general vicinity of my direction that's actually open, but in our reality that isn't open.
Oh yeah. So I guess the difference between what you're seeing and the reality that you're looking at, it is at odds. Yes,
Okay,
100%. It is at odds with what you're seeing.
perfect. Understood. That's it. And I will cast since I'm too close to the bowl, I will cast a bonus action for Bardic Inspiration just to protect my.
Okie dokie. Vamar, were you completely done with your turn?
Yeah, I just had the dash and the regular action.
Gotcha.
I'm not
Alright.
blocking the bulbs. That seems pointless.
Vamul. This guy.
I went.
You mean Val?
No, I just You
mean
I not
me?
say Val's
You
turn?
said Valmul.
You said Vamul.
You said it
I was
in a
like,
very
I went.
Valmul.
Vamul.
Yeah.
Okay. Seeing Vamul and Valen both rush past, and Valen start to play with a candle, and seem to have an epiphany. I'm gonna try to help out by I'll move. So is this the area within the circle is we're considering still icy?
Yeah.
Okay. Playing off of that, Val will walk in gingerly, so not sprinting, but like take his normal walking speed to walk in to try not to slip, and try to find the diamond and pick it up, because I'm close enough that I don't have to run in and slide past it. So is there a roll you'd like me to make in order to do the finesse my way in here?
I would just need a athletics check.
Oh my god, I think that's the most lag I've ever seen.
I was gonna say
That was the most
so-
laggy dice roll I've ever seen D&D Beyond give me.
Yeah, that took a
21.
long time. So as the second you snatch it up, you hear this noise as if like a gust of wind is cutting through the forest, and you turn around and you see all the hedges start to part, and it becomes this pathway.
Val looks in his hand and looks up and goes, I think we go this way. And then looks at the bull, just flips at the bird, and then I'm going to use the rest of my movement. So I'm assuming that's my action to pick it up. So I'm going to use the rest of my movement, which should be about 10, 15 feet, to walk in the direction of the new path.
As you begin to walk on that path, you just hear the snorting of the Gorgon as it kind of like wobbles to its feet, and then you start to see it kind of like walking up the pathway and around a corner and into this darkness. And at that point, there's kind of this kind of calm surrounds you guys as you are able to gain your footing.
Wait, no, I've changed my mind. I want to hit the bull. I'm kidding.
Ooh, our internet.
And the battle music comes back on
It's
as
just
the bull turns around. This time the bull has a machine gun.
Alahorn. No.
Turns around with a machine gun.
As you guys begin to follow this path, you start to lead yourself down these kind of now semi-familiar pathways. Oh no, I don't want to do that. Sorry. Whoop.
Oh no.
You guys find yourself back in this center kind of hedge room that leads in multiple different directions. And here you find yourself sitting in front of a sundial. Sundial, you've kind of started to recognize as as you start to recognize, you've been here once before. And I'm gonna kind of leave it up to you guys to work out.
Can
So-
I take a look at the sundial and look at the diamond that's in my hand, assuming it's still there, and see if there's any way that the diamond might interact with it? Like, is there a place to slot it or anything like that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I'll roll.
Investigation.
Sure. I'm afraid D&D Beyond might try to crash my computer. Each time I'm rolling,
Wow.
my fans are kicking on.
Holy shit. So you approach the sundial and grasping your right hand, you go to look for a slot for this diamond, and that's when you notice that there is no diamond in your hand. But instead, you do notice that this sundial seems to have two shadows. One pointing directly north and one pointing
Northeast?
well, I would say
North and east,
to
sorry.
the 3 o'clock.
Okay, so that's the same as last time. Is it have... I marked the one that we were at last time that had two shadows, one going north, one going east, as sundial 2, which, is that mark still there?
I would need an investigation check.
Man, these sundials are really getting on my nerves, and honestly, I kind of have a very distinct hate of hedge maces at this.
Liam walks around looking for these markers that he had set down. He is not finding any.
If this is the same sundial as before, then it's something's magically resetting it. But I think it's a new sundial with the same shadows as last time. The first one we had something going north. We went north, and then this last time we were at one that was north and east. We went east. So.
Or we shift our focus onto the sundial. I'd like to share information about the diamonds that Val just took.
It's gone.
Because when I was investigating with the candle, I saw reflection within the diamond. It shows an area of the hedge maze that we were in that had an open path, but when in reality, I don't think there was any open path at the time near it. So I think what the diamond's function would be, if we, I don't know if it's still, I don't know if it's function, it could function properly now after Val has took it, but when it was on the ground, it would show a reflection that shows a hidden path that wasn't open in our reality. So I think that might be the way
Just to
to
be
our
sure, that
past.
wasn't the path we just took, right? That the one that just opened when I picked it up. Are those different?
I
or are those
don't
the
know because you took it up and I couldn't identify if that reflects the correct area where the reflection is pointing. So we can try it now because
The diamond's
there's
gone
no
now.
enemy. Huh?
Viewer said
The diamond's gone now.
The diamond's already shattered? Okay. So, well,
No,
we
that
have to
It's
shattered.
not
chase down
shattered.
the...
It's just,
It
it's just
didn't
no
shatter.
longer
It's
here.
just gone.
It just disappear, huh? Okay. Well, then we might need to find either that beast or another beast and produce another diamond and figure the way out.
It's clearly a test throughout this entire thing. With our luck, this entire maze is one simple grand illusion. The diamond's perhaps a way to see through its glamour.
Or
It's like the Fey Wilds all over again.
Yeah, magic does that.
it's does anyone
Some
else
magic.
feel like we picked the wrong path last time and we got the beast as a punishment?
It is difficult to tell.
I don't know. It felt like I was just kind of patrolling the area, and we just happened to be there.
Right, but we went from sundial to sundial to no sundial to the middle of the rest of the maze where we got attacked. So
Southeast, then?
um
It seems haphazard. We have tried to apply logic to this. Perhaps faith will lead us.
not to discredit faith, but when we did have success, did we go opposite where the shadow was pointing and we went where the source of the shadow was? So if we have two shadows right now, in theory we would go southwest.
Certainly. It seems as logical a choice as any others.
Unless anyone remembers anything that I don't. That's how I remember us
So
proceeding.
the first one that we followed is we followed the shadow. The shadow was going north. We followed the path north, and after hours, we ended up in another clearing with a new sundial with two directional shadows, one going north, one going east, similar to where we currently are. We went through the east path, and that's where we came upon the clearing with the Gorgon.
Okay. I'm going to take out the chalk. I'm going to mark it clearly on the bottom again. It's the same place. And I'm going to mark it so that we know that this is the third sundial we've been to. Uh,
I'm still confused by this diamond, because Valen said that he saw a path open up that wasn't there before, and when I picked up the diamond, a path opened up, and that's the path we came down. That's on you, dude.
How big is the sun?
The sundial is like, I would say, 10 feet across and about 6 feet tall.
Okay.
Pretty substantial. What is it that you guys are going to do?
Are you trying to move it?
Didn't we
I was
try
thinking about picking it up,
Didn't we
but
try that
it
already?
feels like that's probably
I tried
not.
by myself.
We can all try moving and see if it
Want to
moves.
find out?
Okay, let's get some strength checks, people.
All right.
I will help out. I do not believe this will be helpful. Yeah, this is actually.
Yeah, with Liam's help, the anchor, we like to call him. You guys kind of set yourself up and you start pushing and pulling. I believe you tried this tactic once before, and this is steadfastly into the ground, and it is not even budging. You may as well be trying to move a cliff face.
Well,
All right, I'm gonna roll. Just because I closed and reopened my tab, you don't have to count this. I'm just trying to see if this is still. Yep, this is still shit in the bed.
Still rolling like crap.
It's, yeah, it's just quite literally. Hey, it's not a nat 20 though.
Noise.
You're rolling great
Nice.
for your computer taking forever.
It's scaring me, like how laggy this is. So I'm just gonna turn off the D&D Beyond dice.
Did you just close the tab, or did you close all of Chrome and or Firefox?
Just the tab.
Do you want to restart your web browser?
I will in a little bit.
Okay.
I'm gonna try
All
this
right.
first.
Well, he figures it out. What are you guys going to be doing?
Well, if it doesn't move,
so we've gone directly north and directly east.
Correct. In that order.
If I recall, you guys entered here. You saw a shadow that faced it toward 12 o'clock.
Mhm.
You guys went that way. You ended up back in the same room
With two.
with the sundial that now has two shadows. That was 12 o'clock and 3 o'clock.
We went to 3
You guys
o'clock.
went 3 o'clock, and you found
Found the
yourself
hole.
in the Gorgon maze.
Yes.
After escaping the Gorgon maze, you found yourself back in the same room with a shadow that goes 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock.
I would say
Back to the Gorgon maze and trying to recreate the situation where the diamonds produce, and then we'll use the diamonds to find our way out.
Real quick, Ben,
that
were
sounds
you
logical.
trying to did you pick southeast because you were trying to add them?
no, I had literally picked southeast out of whim because I was going with the whole face thing. It's
Okay.
completely a whim thing.
Because if we assume we picked correctly on the first one, where we went, where it goes straight up was 1, right, and we went up, and then we got 2, and then that's 1, 2, 3, but then we went to 3 instead of going to like 4. Maybe we should go southeast. I'm thinking of it like numbers. Does that make sense, everybody?
As much as anything here does.
I know,
Let us
I
simply
know.
pick a direction and go.
I'm trying to figure out what a 5-year-old would do.
Why would you trying to mimic what a 5-year would do?
He's making a joke.
Um,
So it is north and there. Let's try southeast. What will it hurt?
A lot if we pick another Gorgon.
But we don't know. We will lose more by waiting.
I know. And just physically, it will hurt a lot.
Vamo will start walking to the southeast.
Okay, we can do southeast,
Southeast would be
where Astrid's standing.
okay. So that would be
Well, see if it will hurt.
Here's hoping.
It will.
I'm not too sure about this direction, but I'll follow along.
as you guys begin to kind of navigate the maze, you start to hear as the path kind of curves and curves and curves again to the point that you no longer know where you came from, which way direction you're really headed. And for those of you who rely so heavily on navigation, you find yourself kind of at a loss in a little bit, as if kind of bewildered and out of place. And then you start to hear these thudding sounds as you emerge from a path into an area much larger than any open area you expected to find in this maze.
Shit.
It's this giant rectangular space, must be 90 feet across, with its far side almost 150 feet away. It looks like a boulder-strewn pasture with a large pond to one side and a fenced vegetable garden and oversized cottage on the other. Sheep graze in the pasture, tended by a pair. And this is when you start to kind of hear that rumble and you see that shaking.
Everyone want to spread out, and
And
then
you see this pair of cyclopses. And the second you glance at them, they seem frozen in time.
They're not moving?
And what is to our left? Those are like goats.
These are all investigation checks you guys would need
Oh.
to make.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, so you see this cottage here. From this view, we're seeing just like the thatched roof. But next to it, you see this you see these sheep that graze in this pasture.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm gonna walk over to the fence of the pasture. I'm gonna cast Speak with Animals because I'm a ranger.
Okay.
I have free uses or a free use of this spell, so I'm gonna use it. I'll call out to the sheep and say, "Hey, any of you know the way to the tower?"
You get this kind of like bewildered look. When they kind of like poke their head, you get the sense the only tower they know is this kind of giant thatched building next to him. I wouldn't say even a building. Sorry, it's
Okay. Then I'll ask.
a cottage.
I'll ask to see if I can get a little bit of. You might consider this insight. I'm going to ask to see those two large creatures over there. Will they be mad at us if we try to just move on through?
And they kind of just start like kind of bucking around playfully. You get the sense that they're hinting at you like, because it's based on their intelligence, right? So the message I'm trying to.
That's why I'm not trying to get like super.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out.
The playful nature of the goats lead you to believe that they're not afraid of the Cyclops, nor do they are warning you that you need to be fearful of them, I guess.
Okay. I'll relay this to the rest of the group and say, based on my sources here, these goats don't seem to be too afraid of the Cyclopses, but he has changed what he's called them like 3 times.
I don't.
Okay, these sheep.
I
I'm
put
sorry.
down
Emily
sheep and
doesn't
goat.
like goats. Emily doesn't like goats, so she wants these to be sheep. I'll say that the sheep.
That is funny. I did say sheep, and then they're labeled goats.
Yeah.
In the world of D&D, sheep goats are very common. So you know.
They have
That is-
one
Scott's been
scary
very
eye and
confused.
they have one goat eye and one sheep eye.
Don't they have the same eyes?
That's a rabbit hole we'll go down later.
I'm pretty sure sheep are just types of goats, David.
I don't fucking know. It's
They're
not like
not.
I grew up on a farm or
They're
anything.
not.
Anyway, I'll just relay that information for whatever it may be worth and just say they don't seem explicitly afraid of those Cyclopses over there, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be okay with us trying to just walk on through and try to find the center of this maze.
Vaughn, I can turn us invisible.
You can turn. You can turn. Wait, did he say invisible? I thought he said invisible.
Yeah.
Or we could be sheeple.
I think you only turn one of us invisible, Phelan.
He can upcast it.
2, or does it go beyond that?
It's every level above 2. He can do another person.
No, I don't know how magic works. I just shoot things.
Isn't there like an illusion thing that we can all look like?
I feel like we might get in trouble if the Cyclopses see that their herd or their flock has gotten
Make
out. They
image.
might
You
start
create the
chasing us.
image of an object, a creature, or some other visible phenomenon no larger than a 20-foot cube.
I mean, you can make a distraction of. You can make it look like some sheep have gotten out, and maybe we can distract them and then run past while they are distracted. But
The
we also-
invisibility spell allow me to make a person invisible, including myself will be one person, and any spell level above 2 would be one additional person. So if I cast
Sure.
at level
I don't-
6,
If you
Then it'll be
I
enough
think
to myself.
I think we should conserve what we have. We haven't even gotten to the tower yet, and we're supposed to be able to extract this defector from the cultists who seem to have reign over this area. So we don't know what we're going to get into. So let's try to conserve what we have until it's absolutely needed.
I can try sneaking by. If we need to sneak, I can just sneak by without going invisible.
I am confident that at least a few of us could.
So
I don't know about Valen over here though. He's a little hard to conceal. Or Valmol, sorry, getting me confused with all these names.
Vomel will simply stay back at people trying to be stealthy. I've learned this lesson. And I'm okay. It's okay.
Did you say that these Cyclopses were not moving when you took a look at them?
Can you ping on the screen where they are? Because I can't see them on my screen.
I guess none of you have really seen them.
I mean, if it's daytime,
Look at
in
those
theory,
cute
we
little bellies.
we would shoot it.
I'm just worried if I do daytime, you guys will see everything. But let me try.
I think, well, right now we have walls blocking our view here and here. So I don't know if that's true.
It says daylight mode is on.
Really?
I see the Cyclopses and I see the
Wait,
five
you can see the
sheep
side.
goats.
Why can I only see?
Scroll down.
That is
My
on
vision
the phone.
ends right here.
Oh, and then you're weird, because I can see down here.
Yeah, I see the Cyclops as well.
So why is my vision set?
So your token just has like a weird limiter on it,
Yeah, where?
comparative to everyone else's.
How do I edit my token?
I think that's the thing that is done on Viva's side.
He's blind. Blind.
At least I haven't been able to figure out how to do it from my end. So what was the descriptor given on these Cyclopses? Somebody said they were frozen, and I'm trying to confirm what was said and what is actually seen. And we've done our investigation checks, but I'm just trying to confirm that information.
I said they are all appear frozen in time.
Gotcha. That's
Which,
interesting.
yeah, which would
All
be
right.
my only descriptor.
Thank you. So we don't know why these Cyclopses appear stuck in whatever action that they're doing. And we're not sure if there's an issue with if we were to get closer, if we would trigger anything else. So can I investigate around? I want to look around here and like the entrance to the thatched hut or whatever that structure is, and I want to look around to see if there's anything that looks magical in nature.
Go ahead and move forward.
Or might be. I'm looking to see if there's any kind of like source to this effect that might be present, or if I walk forward, if I end up getting caught in it or not. But I'm only doing it up to here because I can only move my character so far is the idea.
Okay, that's you moving forward.
Yeah, I moved up.
As you
I'm
move
just
forward,
looking in the area.
You start to hear that little rumbling, and you don't notice anything in particular because you're looking for very detailed, right? You're looking for something, but you do see that those giant shadowy figures that are way off in the distance have now begun to move forward, and they're starting to kind of lumbering towards you, and they seem to kind of like be nudging and kind of like bumping into each other as they move towards you.
Well, that's a thing.
They're not moving any further forward once I've stopped, correct?
Correct.
Oh, it's red
I'm
like
going to
green
take a
light.
step. I'm going to take a step back towards everyone.
Okay. And they kind of start to lumber into your field of vision, and you see them again. They look at each other. These Cyclops look at each other in the eye, and you see them kind of. They start to communicate, and you hear them this dialogue, and then you see them kind of turn to each other and face each other, and they start kind of pounding their fists into their palms in this kind of rhythmic manner.
God, they're doing paper, rock, scissor.
Does anyone know what they're saying? I asked the group.
If everybody could do an investigation check and let me know. Well, let me know if anybody speaks giant.
Bommel should.
I do, actually.
He is half giant.
I speak Celestial, Common, and Elvish.
So it's Vommel who kind of steps forward, and Vommel, you kind of get this. You hear this rhythmic chanting in between them as they say something like "boulder parchment
Cheers.
shears," and then they get to the point where one of them kind of like begrudgingly puts his head down and he moves forward to you, and he's just kind of mumbling things about like which one of you's the champion, or who can, who's your best, who's your strongest.
And look to the paladin.
Are they moving at full speed now?
You're the
They're
tallest
kinda
guy.
they're
You're looking at a
lumbering.
paladin for what?
Is
If your investigation checks as low as they are, you guys don't feel any aggression or anything. So they're big and they're brooding and they're frightening in that aspect. But you
Val
don't
looks
get
over
the
and
sense that
asks
they're
what they
charging
say.
or anything.
They are asking for our champion.
That's unhelpful. I feel like anyone can fill that role.
do they truly want the fight?
I don't think so. You stop and I'll look back at the Cyclopses. You do not seem to wish to fight, so why should we?
Who said fight?
Oh, good.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Are you supposed to play a game of parchments?
Her
Boulder
laugh,
and
man.
Boulder parchment shears.
scythe. There we go.
Mm.
And then he just scratches his head. No. And then he scoops up this boulder off the ground. This massive boulder about 2 feet in diameter, and he just chucks it to the other end of this large field. And then as it just hits the ground, you hear this shake. The goats go crazy. They start like jumping and kind of dancing around. And then this boulder does a slow roll towards the end of this field. And they just point. Who's your champion?
Oh shit! All right, I have an
I'll look
idea.
at the. What is your idea?
Give me a second. I gotta see what I got.
Champion of what?
Unfortunately, the main thing I need is not. I don't have.
I believe they wish to do a contest of strength to see how far we can throw things.
Well, they're challenging a contest, but do we know for sure they're challenging contest of strength?
No, I'm waiting for Liam to come up with a brilliant idea.
I'm not sure it was brilliant, but like if it's competing,
They're never
with...
brilliant.
Is Lian the only person to speak giants here?
No,
Vommel is
Vommel's
the only one who
who
does.
speaks giant.
I'm going.
Okay.
I'm going off context clues.
I'm translating. I'll turn back to the Cyclops. The contest is to see who can throw the furthest boulder, or can we make it more interesting?
And then the other Cyclops just grabs another boulder and chucks it.
All right, Vommel. I think this is your moment to shine, bud.
Hopefully.
I think pick your boulder. I'll walk up behind you.
I'll look at the two. Would it not be more interesting to see who could place it most accurately?
Ugh.
Yeah, I was trying to be
And it-
social. Fine. Apparently my kinsmen do not wish to have talks. So they'll find a boulder.
Before you
talk
throw
like
it, let me
human
know.
beings.
Now you're going to see him arch his arm back. My goal is to throw it there for at least a bit of skill.
All right. When he goes over to the boulder and he finds his boulder, I'll cast enlarge reduce on you, but I'll grow you one category.
Oh, now I'm actually giant-sized.
Yeah, this is my last second level spell until I take a short rest.
Okay, and then
I'm gonna post this in the chat. So
I need you to roll a D8, 1d8. No. 1d10.
I will roll whatever you want me to once you make up your mind.
Just Vamu or all of us?
just him.
Just vamos. So, where are you throwing it from?
I was thinking the same line they were in.
All right. So, how long does your spell
It
last?
lasts it's 1 minute concentration. He has advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws, if that helps.
Okay, so go ahead and roll another one at advantage to see what happens with your D10.
Apparently, I can only roll low.
You pick up one of these boulders that they're mentioning, and this thing is about 2 feet in diameter and weighs about 500 pounds, and you throw it, and it hits the ground back here and starts to roll forward. And as it just begins to stop, you just hear this bellowing laughter from these two cyclopses next to you.
Double or nothing.
How much bigger are they than me right now?
Substantially bigger, I believe.
Again.
One of the cyclops rolls out another one of these giant boulders and puts it in front of you.
Try again. I don't have any other sneaky ways to do this. I don't have giant strength, unfortunately.
You want me to give me a bardic inspiration secretly?
Cool. Yeah. I would love a song to inspire me.
I can't pull a song out of my head right now, but I can give you an inspiration.
Same thing. All right.
Just a nice little like sly like butt pat for
Good game.
inspiration.
Good game.
Say harder!
All right,
Swing
2d10.
bada sewing.
I can't roll worth shit. Good God.
You let loose this boulder and it just soars through the air, and you hear this gasping noise as your boulder hits, and it just flies across the room, and it begins to roll past the final boulder. And as it begins to rest, you just see this thing kind of crack open, and resting right above this now destroyed boulder, kind of floating in the air, you see this shine, this little hint of something.
It's another diamond. Grab it.
Do not change it. Only one person grabs it. It will walk forward.
As you march your way down there, the closer you get, the closer you start to realize that there's this stone, this looks like maybe a topaz gemstone, kind of hovering above this crushed boulder.
I'll kind of do the same thing we did last time. So he'll just pick it up and hold it up to the light and see what he can see in its reflection.
As you kind of stare into the shiny reflection of this gemstone, you see the path ahead of you opened.
Go beckon, come, lowlanders. As within about a minute, he shrinks back down.
You turn to beckon your clanmates forward, and you see the Cyclops is kind of just like giving you a wave goodbye as they assume you're talking to them.
You know what? Thank you for the wonderful game.
Yay!
As you guys, are you guys going to continue on this path? I
If
assume
it's open, then yes.
you guys find your way back, and you start following this kind of arched path, and it slowly starts to kind of bend to the point where you kind of forget which direction you came from. You no longer kind of remember the path that you'd been on, just that you've been following this for quite some time. And then you find yourself back in the center room, and you see in front of you a sundial. This sundial has
No!
two shadows.
Calm down. We knew this would happen.
One shadow faces towards 12 o'clock. The other shadow faces towards 3.
This means we completed the task. This is not a bad thing. Now, do I still have the topaz?
You look in your hand and it's gone.
So that one was distinctly a topaz, and I found
A
distinctly a
diamond.
diamond. Can I? And there are no topazes or diamonds anywhere showing up in this in this room. It's not on any of the like the grounds marking a path. It's not on the sundial, and I will roll for investigations for these questions if that's helpful.
Thank you.
I would like to investigate something differently.
As you investigate the sundial again, you don't find any place to input diamonds. You don't, or gemstones. You don't actually see any like grooves or missing markings. Anything to indicate that those gemstones that you guys had once had in your possession belong or were missing from this thing is what I'm assuming. Kind of what we're asking.
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll to see, is my markings from before show that this is the same one that we were at, or is this a new one?
You look around for the markings that you had indicated, kind of to mark your path, and you see nothing here.
Okay. Marking it as 4. Not sure if this is for naught, but I just wanted to just sanity check it for myself.
All right. Next idea of where to go. I'm thinking we between the two shadows.
Yeah, either this way or this way. It's the only 2 ways I can think.
Thinking this one.
Yep. Because we've gone this way, we've gone this way. Both of those have ended us in locations, and then ended us back in the same orientation of a sundial. So, I feel like it's this
Anybody
one.
else have any ideas?
Again, I see no harm in walking this way.
Gonna try all the exit, huh?
Diamond, topaz.
All right, Astrid.
I have a request before we walk through. Do we
Request about what?
do we think we have time to take a short rest anytime here, or do we want to wait longer? I know some of us are hurt and stuff.
I don't mind taking a quick breather to think this through before we go down the next path. We don't know what we're about to encounter, but I don't think we have too much time to dally. So I think a short rest will be fine.
I'm not trying to suggest forever. Just yeah.
Okay, so you guys are taking a short rest.
Apparently.
Okay with everyone?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, so in the midst of kind of wandering around here, you guys manage to take a short rest, go ahead and reset on your
Roll your
D&D
hit die.
Beyond.
Yay!
Your short rest don't take long. And as you guys start finally like to get up and move, you guys start to head down the pathway, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of move you guys in the meantime, if you don't mind.
Don't mind at all.
Three.
17, nice time. How many dice was that? I rolled the one.
Classic. 2 min rolls. Thank you, wizard roll. But I got me exactly what I needed, so I can't really complain. Alright, so those are all gone. And then I can do Arcane Recovery.
We're on the outer rim of the hedge.
I am recovering 1 second level spell slot through Arcane Recovery. That's all I can do right now. But it is there. So, got 1 back. And I'm good to go.
Ugh. I'm glad those Cyclopses were relatively friendly in all things considered.
I believe that
All right, everybody healed up.
it seems that this area seems to be testing our assumptions. The
That's an
bull,
assumption in itself, but sure.
perhaps. We saw bull gave way to diamond. Cyclops, feat of strength. Through gems, we see truth revealed. Perhaps assumption, but at least educated one.
I mean, my assumption is that whatever wizard made this maze out of magic likes shiny objects and stones.
Could be bird wizard.
As you guys continue on this path, you find it less disorienting as the last one. As you seem to be on a, you feel like you're more on a straighter path than these curving ones that you guys have found yourselves on in the past. But the same thing kind of happens. The path behind you becomes so far behind you that you no longer see where you came from. And there's a point in which you don't see where you're going until a light starts to reveal itself and you enter into another clearing. You find yourselves in this clearing that has many different pathways in different directions and a sundial sitting in the center.
That have 2 shadows.
Investigation check will certainly.
I will help with that investigation. Yeet. 22.
Damn, one more!
As you guys begin to kind of look around, everything about this seems exactly like the sundial areas of the past, except for this time there are 3 shadows playing off of the sundial. One faces 12 o'clock. One faces to, how was that?
Northeast?
Jeez.
1 o'clock, 2 o'clock?
5.
Oh, 5. Southeast. Okay.
Yeah, southeast. and then the other one facing southwest.
Okay. Got it. I'm just going to be sanity check, and I'm just going to do a quick walk around, and if I don't find it, I'm just going to mark it. But I'm walking around looking for any markings and or anything that I would have written on any of these. If not, I will give it a new. I'll take a piece of chalk out and mark it with 5.
Okay. So, you as you're investigating, it just plays with your perception so much that this is exactly the same. You feel like even some of the leaves are the same, but yet you don't see any markings.
All right, so I'll mark it with a 5. Not that I think this is making a difference, but I feel like I have to do it. All right. So we've done that.
All right, we go
we've done
south this
that.
time.
Stuart, where do you think we should go next? We've all picked directions. It is now your turn.
I'm thinking about it. Give me a. I'm sure
Yes.
everybody can see me drawing all
I
these
see, I
lines.
see your amazing drawings. You're doing
Thank
great.
you.
You're an artist.
She has a flux
Yeah.
capacitor somewhere.
Looks, there's a flux capacitor. There's a kind of chart.
Yeah, it does look like a
It's a profit margin.
like stonks.
Everybody stonks.
Over time, you'll make money.
What are we doing?
Brain is catching fire. Give me a second.
We're waiting for the gerbil in M's head to pick a direction. Mine fell off the wheel already, so it's her turn.
Yeah. South.
Okay, I think that makes sense to me.
As long, yeah, I don't think there's any direction we haven't gone that I feel good with.
The
So.
last.
So the way I'm seeing this is there's a distinct fork, and we went between the two prongs of the fork, and I still think there's a distinct fork where there's like it's a third of the circle is on the bottom with the two prongs, and so we can go between the two prongs.
Yeah, it's
Because
weighted.
the
It's
other
weighted
two
more
sides
that way.
are.
I'm good with it.
Yeah.
You guys begin to walk down south through this corridor, and the further you go, the further behind this entrance is as you guys lead your way down. Again, you don't get that sense of it winding so much as it just being this long, narrow path that becomes so long and narrow that you lose sight of the entrance and you lose sight of any exit until, of course, you come across a brief bit of light as you guys enter what looks like an opening.
Good choice. Good choice. Good choice. I'll roll for investigation.
Rinse and repeat.
Liam, I assume
Yeah.
you're investigating to see if there's any markings
Markings in the
that you had
shadows,
left
but yeah.
behind.
Yeah, most.
But
I'm
also,
definitely looking
you
for that.
do notice this time that there are 4 shadows. One that is northeast, one that is northwest, southwest, and south and northeast. Right?
We said
We said
northwest.
northeast.
You said northeast.
All the corners.
All right, so southwest.
All
all
the
right.
diagonal.
Southwest.
Is there some kind of
So there's no.
That?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Did anybody else just hear tiger?
Say
Is
what?
that in Twitch? It was in Twitch. Never mind.
What?
What?
God.
I,
Are
There's
you
a
high?
tiger in the maze. Run away!
You
There's
know
only
what?
been
It
a
can't be
bull.
bad as
Now there's a
important.
tiger. There's been some
we had some
goats,
cyclopses
sheeps.
and some sheep, goats, things. Yeah.
Lions and tigers and bears. Oh my!
It's owlbears. I would say. Oh, sorry.
What's the yellow?
I didn't mean to cut
what's
you off.
See, Liam, because of your high investigation, besides the fact of what you're looking for to see if there's any indication of a path before, you see the four. Obviously, you see the four shadows that point. But the closer you get to the sundial, the more bizarre the shadows act as they start to kind of rotate around the sundial itself. And so at first they were pointing to the four corners, and then they were pointing to the four cardinal directions until they spin again to the four corners. And they and the closer you get to the sundial, the shorter the shadow gets. And then the further away you get from it, the longer those shadows grow as they kind of slowly rotating around the sundial.
Oh shit. Okay. All right. So I relay this to everybody, and I'm going to.
Doesn't that mean
We have to go up.
Yeah.
never mind, light
Right?
physics?
Wouldn't that mean the light source is above us?
It could be
longer.
unless.
So if you put if you have a tube and a light source, and you put the light source, right? And you
In
put
the
the
tube.
in the tube, the shadows. That's how the shadows change. If you pull the light source out, the shadows get longer. If you pull it into the tube, they
No, light source.
Can you
would be
speak louder?
No.
Yes.
No.
Emily's right, David.
All right, I'm gonna be quiet
The
now.
same.
I'm confusing my wife, and she's just telling me I'm wrong, so I'm just gonna be quiet.
Your lights, the
Dickler,
shadows would
what
change
was
based on
what was your
perspective.
assumption?
No.
That
So
the light
he's
source is
moving
above
and
the
shadow-
sundial, I believe he's saying. And so
So if he's
when he
moving,
compares
and
it to a tube,
The shadows.
which I understand the light. I know what, because I've seen them when they drop like a light through like a lampshade or something, or through a
Yeah.
laundry basket.
That'd be
yeah,
the
I know
lights
what you're saying.
moving, but not the person observing the light and where the shadows are being made is moving, because that's your point of perspective. But if the light source is moving, then that would move the shadows.
Then probably disregard what I said. It's likely going to throw you into the wrong direction to figure out this.
You keep thinking down that weird aisle for just a second while I pitch one thing. While I walk closer to it, and I say this out loud to their group, are any of the shadows, to my perspective, staying the same length? Because you said they all got shorter as I got in. Are any of them either staying in the same location, or like I know a lot of them are spinning and moving, but are any of them acting differently than the other three?
You're asking if their perception of the shadows is changing.
Actually, yes, and to my perspective. I'm just trying to see if anything looks. I'm looking for one in particular that if anything looks different while I move.
One of these shutters aren't like the others.
Right.
Which one of these shadows don't belong? Sesame Street teaches us everything, even how to solve D&D puzzles.
I would say for the group, from their perspective, further as they stand. Okay, I would say everybody move to a position on the map,
All right,
and then I'll help describe.
I'm gonna be like as close to the center as possible, but yeah.
Okay. So for For
Oh,
Astrid
drawing.
and I would say for now for all of you, these shadows are slowly rotating, very slowly, and they're very long. For Liam closest, these shadows are rotating very fast, and they are now very short. So they're only a matter of like kind of 5 feet. Whereas the rest of you guys, some of these shadows are like 15 feet tall. For you, Val, who moved closer, they shrunk about 5 feet, and they happen to pick up speed the closer you got.
Maybe we can make the light source dizzy if we just run back and forth a few times.
Perhaps we should all get on the.
Ooh. Yeah, let's get everyone on the sundial. Hey Valen, can you move over here to the sundial? And Val?
Yeah.
So for those of you who are looking just specifically at the shadows, you see them very short now, only within like a foot, and they're spinning kind of wildly now, just like looking into a fan blade. Except for Val, who still sees everybody on top of the sundial, but he sees these long, shadows that still stretch 10 feet, maybe, and are spinning quickly, but not nearly as fanatically as the other ones.
Val, do you want to hop on the thing? Yeah.
All of a sudden, they start spinning super fast. They're very short, and it's as you guys all are standing on the sun, like the plane of the sundial.
Do we know?
Take a step back again.
Where I was, or
You
like
take a step
off the
back,
sundial?
and those shadows kind of grow a little bit, and you see it start to slow down.
Can we get
No,
everyone
just
back?
one person. Everybody stay on the corner, on those corners. Sorry, I may have misheard you, but did you say that they were all spinning, but there was one that was spinning different?
Just a matter of perspective, though.
Okay. I don't know if there was one that like was a little longer or like. Okay.
No.
Never mind.
It was only seemed longer because Val had been standing so far out that his perspective of it was much different than the rest of yours, you guys are all within like kind of the same range.
If we are all on the sundial, can we all get to the same side of the sundial and try to turn the sundial in the direction they're spinning?
We wouldn't be on the same side of the sundial. It's just circle, so you'd want people spread around the outside.
I just want to turn it. I
Evenly.
just want to turn it.
Okay, strength checks, please.
Like a knob in the direction that
Can I
everything's
assist
spinning.
somebody?
Yeah,
You can assist me.
Yeah, I'll assist someone that's stronger. We're the two weakest.
You assist Vommel then.
Vommel rolls.
So Vommel and Astro can roll with advantage.
Advantage 16, so 21 for me.
Your beefier members of M&A, brace themselves to push as you guys, each grab a cheek and push. And yet this thing is again dead fast. It is not moving.
All right. I'm just trying to.
So we tried to move the platform, not the physical dial.
I
assumed you guys were needing something to push on, so you guys were like pulling and pushing on the actual dial. I guess.
Yeah,
okay.
I was implying like turn the dial like it's a knob.
Right? Yeah, I guess that's what I was kind of assuming as well.
No worries.
Although it is kind of funny to think about, because if this thing was all one piece, you guys are standing on it and trying to push it, which means you guys have no leverage.
Sure,
Which is why I thought we were like on the outside grabbing the slit, like the disc that it sits on, and trying to move the disc. But that's.
I mean, it's just a
both
picture,
of
so
them
like
are
it
pretty
depends
funny.
on like
It's
how
not.
it's built.
It's not working either way.
Yeah.
no, that's what I
You
figured.
You tried one, then the other.
It's
To
not gonna
no
work.
avail.
I don't think that's going to be a thing. And so when we were all on it, standing on it, and touching it in a port key, it didn't send us off anywhere.
Um,
Can you
no,
sense
it
portals
did
right
not
now?
port key.
I don't think I have a detect up. I think I used it earlier.
Did you?
I'm looking. Nope, I do have it. It comes back on a short rest. I can try.
I mean, if it doesn't hurt, I mean, this seems different than the rest of the scenarios.
I will I'll sit and concentrate for a little bit and stretch out my senses to try and see if I detect a portal within 1 mile.
And you get this sense, and it is pulling your attention directly above the sundial.
Oh shit!
As
I was
if
right.
There was a tube
You're
and a
not
light
right about
that pulls up and down.
Yes! You fucked everybody else. My dumb brain figured it out.
But
So
not
this
based
really
on how
was a
light
5-year-old
works.
puzzle.
Yes, it is. Vito knows exactly what I'm
But
talking
me
about.
moving doesn't change the perspective where the shadows are. Because
Yeah, but fuck you and whatever you thought. I was right.
I did say,
"Alright, I detect a
please
portal."
keep thinking
No.
that weird way because it
Liam,
might
shut
still
up.
work.
I'm doing cool things. And I look up and I'm like, I think we need to go up there. But yeah, Val will say he'll tell everybody. So above the sundial, there's a portal of some kind. Do you want me to go check it out?
Yeah, let's get an athletics check.
He doesn't need one.
I'm gonna pull out my broom and fly up there.
Okay.
Oh, I'm
there
gonna
you go.
jump.
I'm gonna stay on the ground
It's like,
like
a
a
tube.
good
You
giant.
said it was a tube.
I'm still gonna keep holding on to Malmol's butt cheeks. It feels comforting
All
right
right.
now.
So the first one that goes up hops on your broom, and then you go above, and all of a sudden you feel this like long stretching motion of yourself.
Guys, something's
As You
happening.
start to kind of like and then you feel like you're just toppling end over end, followed by Astrid who jumps. Can I get an athletics check, Astrid?
Absolutely.
All right, so you climb to the top of the sundial and you jump into the air. And what the perspective of everybody below you is that all of a sudden, as you reach like maybe 6 feet up off of the tip of the sundial, all of a sudden you just like kind of elongate and then vanish.
I mean, you do have boots of flying, so it's very easy.
I'm going to like seeing that all this is happening. Say like, let's go, everybody. I think this is what we need to do, and like literally like clamber up Vamol, then jump on the sundial, then jump up, and
Before anyone else shows up, I'm gonna try and turn to see if anyone had followed behind, and if I see Astrid, I'm be like, "So, you think they're gonna think to follow us this time when we jump through a portal?" As we're getting like thrown through planes of exits to wherever we get shunted out.
Probably. I feel like they've picked up on it by now.
I'm going through.
Going.
We'll follow.
All right,
Since
so
my
all of a
butt
sudden,
cheek
everybody,
holder is no longer there.
as you guys all still that same like you're getting stretched through a straw, you come pummeling out and you land in this clearing with 8 different directions. And in the center of this clearing, you see etched into the ground a glowing circle.
Light source.
So did we emerge?
I'm sorry, emerge what?
So did we like come out of where that circle was? Like, so were
Or
we
did we
like
fall
going
from the
up,
sky?
or did we come up from the ground or down from the sky?
You did both at the same time, simultaneously.
So we just said poof, and
it
we were
was
there.
more of a tumbling, and then
Got it.
here you are. No poofing, some stretching.
Got it.
You're
So there was no way to like orient how we arrived.
I mean, would I have any way of trying to check to see if I recognize the orientation of which I arrived where I am, being a portal jumper and having generally good direction? AKA, can I make a survival check to see if I get any of that or no? I'm cool with the answer being
I would
no,
just do an investigation check, I guess.
I will investigate.
Is it
Hell
another
yeah.
sundial that we were at, or
There is a glowing
As you
circle around.
look around, one thing you notice immediately is that there is no sundial here. Instead, there is a teleportation circle below your feet that is faintly glowing. And as you take a look, these pathways they don't seem to lead anywhere necessarily. They seem to just kind of be more like a mirror image of what you guys had previously had experienced. But you can tell that each one of those pathways leads nowhere, right? There's a hedge that kind of blocks at the end of each one of them. But right above the hedge maze, you see this giant tower that stretches into the sky, and all of a sudden you are so much closer to it. You can see, all these. You're within yards of it now, so all of a sudden it comes into frame. All the architecture and a lot of the interesting stonework and stuff of it. And above it, you see, a balcony. And on that balcony, you see this kind of wide open window with these curtains. And standing at the edge of the balcony, you see this tall figure. And as you make eye contact with them,
Can I see? Can I see if what they're wearing briefly in everything that's happening? Can I see like what kind of garb they're wearing? Is this a dragon cultist versus somebody who doesn't look like they're explicitly
this is
wearing dragon cultist
100%
robes?
someone wearing dragon cultist robes.
Fuck.
Good.
Val's gonna do the dragon cult salute.
You
To try
make
and
the
not look
salute
like-
to him, and he kind of tilts his head to his side, and shakes it, and then kind of beckons you forward as he goes leaves the balcony and goes back into the building.
Okay, I'm gonna try and make a mental note of the orientation of where that balcony is to whatever landmarks I can try and piece together, so that I might be able to have a general idea of where that might show up if I were to go try and reach it from the inside of the tower.
Okay. And as you're taking this mental note, and after he beckons you and walks inside, you start to see the glowing light of the teleportation circle beneath you start to kind of like grow, like the embers of a fire being, given some more life to it. And then within seconds, that light encompasses you all and becomes so blinding and disorienting you don't quite know where you're at. And that's where we'll take a break.
Cool.
I feel like this time we didn't punch things. Yay!
I feel
We can be taught.
like we should have killed it.
I feel that we were less hammers this time. But there's always time for hammers.
It only took
Roll
2
to
years.
attack the sundial.
Would you imagine if like Darfaris was still here too? You still just hit it.
If what?
Hammer's also my
Darf
penis.
if Darf was still here, like for that too.
Oh,
Still
yeah.
would have hit it.
in multiple different ways. Mm,
We're back on.
No.
Yep.
We're back live, Viva. You're not ready? Back to the break? Well, we
No.
are-
All right.
we should be good.
All right. Welcome back from the break. Where we were picking up from is that you guys had it's been standing on a teleportation circle. You had just seen somebody, a figure in, on a balcony at the tower. Now that you guys are finally within reach of it, and he seemed to maybe even recognize you, but summoned you closer as he walked inside. The summoning circle grew brighter, and you all find yourself inside what you can only assume is the tower, as you are greeted by an individual. You see him standing before you, adorned in the robes of the cultists.
We'll nudge the bard as the social one to say something.
Greetings, M&A. It is good to see that you've made it this far.
This
I
can't
believe-
be for Zoom if you know who we are.
Indeed. I assume you got my note and know that although in the past we may have been enemies, my concern is the cultists have lost the entirety of their mind. And we are now on the same side of history.
I assume we are safe to speak within these walls right here.
As safe as I can hope. If we are not, then I am surely
Fair enough.
dead. Hmm.
In your message to us, as part of the payment to help you escape, it said you were gonna offer us the blue dragon mask. Do you have it?
On me, no. Last night they came and they took it to the dungeons for more of the rituals, but I assure you, it will be yours. We cannot let it continue to be in their hands.
Do you know? Do you know the layout? Do you know the security measures around the mask and the way to the dragon? Or sorry, to the dungeon. Sorry.
Yes, it is. You find yourself in Zonto's tower. It is, as you can imagine, full of many magics. We are very near the top, and as you can see, there is no staircase to the floors above or below. But in fact, the teleportation circle you stand on now is the only means of transportation between each level of the tower. This has been a refuge for many dark wizards, many cultists. So you can expect that this tower is full of those that may do us harm. But the rituals that I speak of are being conducted in the dungeon. That is not so easy to enter.
You said that you were one of the mages that was studying this, so do you not have direct access anymore?
There was a point in which I was nearly found out, and security measures have been increased. I myself can get close, but I cannot enter the dungeon without a second one of these. And he holds, hanging from his neck is this crystal key.
Can I see the crystal key? I just want to see if it's something I can reproduce or if it's truly something that's.
Trust me, it is not something you can reproduce unless you have decades and decades of magical fortitude. This isn't a key made by the run of the mill locksmith.
So it's not something that
Iskander, I have
will.
a question.
Oh, sorry.
You said that you'll need 2 of these keys, but there are multiple wizards studying this artifact. Is there only 2 keys, or do you just need 2 of the set? Or are there more than just to get a second one from
You
various
only need
sources?
2. You only need 2 keys to get in. At the entrance to the dungeons, there is a door that requires 2 of these keys.
And there are more than 2 in this tower.
Oh, I believe last I checked there were 6.
So what are their other 5 options to get a second key? Is there one that might be easier to retrieve than the others?
Jorgen Powell has 1. The redstone has the other.
The redstone?
Yes, he's a very intimidating figure who garnered that name because He hits like a brick wall.
So you call him a brick house?
He's a brick house. He's mighty. He lets it all hang out.
So that gives us 3. There's 3 more, but are those 2 the easiest for us to obtain?
No, those are probably the hardest. The easiest. I would probably say, Yanful, Dragster, and
Is Jonful Dragster
Renfrew.
one name or two? Sorry.
Oh, those are 2 different names.
Sorry.
Yanful, Dragster, and Yenfril.
Thank you.
You had mentioned they were using it for rituals. In case it is in process, what kind of rituals are they doing, and how could one disrupt them safely?
Take the source of it by taking the mask, which is what we're here to do.
If it's already in process, that is
Many
why I asked.
truths. No, there are short rituals. There are long rituals. There are rituals in which we test the meter of an object. There are measures to magic that we try to detect. This tower here, it had been devised for the means in which I no longer agree with.
We appreciate
There was attempts long ago to meld some of the darkest magics with the most powerful beings. And in this very tower, they attempted to create the Drakenlich. And it was the end goal to create probably one of the most disturbing beings to set foot on any plane of his existence. And there are those of the cultists that believe that should be the end goal. But I no longer agree with those.
Visibly upset at this whole mention. This
Do we
is why.
know what that would be?
I'm sorry, go ahead, Vamo.
This is why I want more information about the rituals, because sometimes when you disrupt one, it can make it worse. And I don't like the idea of the soul of a dragon being further desecrated by these perverse magic users. So more details would be appreciated if possible. There's no willpower save that I can see, so I'm just gonna roleplay it.
You can do intimidation.
I'm not trying to really intimidate him though. It's more to make sure that he remains calm and doesn't go into a dragon frenzy.
Oh, for yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Okay.
Did you roll or?
No, he doesn't.
I didn't see that there was a.
There isn't.
I
There
don't-
isn't a willpower save. Like willpower is like wisdom.
Gotcha.
There is in Pathfinder, but there isn't. I don't see it on this character sheet.
No, there
Which is
isn't.
kind of sad.
Wisdom is the closest to willpower, I think.
I can roll a wisdom check if you want.
It is futile attempts for these wizards, if you want to call them that, in this tower to resurrect something so mighty. They are more accustomed to setting matches aflame than igniting the world on fire. If you understand what I mean.
I do.
They
They're
are
children
no,
who play in the realms of gods with matches and candles.
they're certainly children.
Sorry to disrupt this conversation. I'm just trying to ask a few questions about navigating the tower and how we should go about it. If we can't get directly to the dungeon without attaining at least one other key, that means we need to find one of these people that have one. Would it be best for us to assume a disguise? Do we have additional robes that we could, at least? The trick is some of us have robes already, but our friend here is abnormally shaped. We've not. So, is there? Do you have an idea of how we could easily move about the tower to find our targets without finding or attracting too much attention?
The fact that your big friend here doesn't have robes is not so much of an issue as that he adorns the crests and symbols of a deity very much unwelcomed here.
Is he talking about our? This is out of context. Is he trying to refer to the Harper pins?
No.
No.
I was talking about the Platinum Dragon.
Because let me, if I remember correctly, you guys had all worn, when you guys left the basement of the shop, you guys had put on gear to make you guys look like cultists, correct? But there wasn't really anything big enough for Ben or for Valmol.
Yeah,
We attempted to, and I said if you have it in your inventory, then yes, because it was not
Right.
a thing that was put in the bag of holding.
because me, Val,
Right.
and
So
Valen
essentially,
all
what
have
I'm saying
one.
is, if you guys all put that gear on, you're fine. If he doesn't have any of that gear, that's okay, except for the fact that he is
Is wearing the
adorned.
Platinum Dragon stuff.
Yeah.
Like I'm a cleric or something. Weird that.
But also, I also want to touch base to what Val was going to get at. I wanted to let Valmol have his chance to play that out, but I know Val had
Go ahead,
a
please.
moment too. He was trying to say something,
But just now,
or a little bit ago. I just want to make sure everybody's heard.
Yeah, I had a question of if we would have known if it's common knowledge of what a Dragon Lich is.
I guess you guys
So, like,
could do.
That's what I was going to ask. Is like, could I do a history or
You would definitely.
Oh.
No, I would.
I'm trying to figure out how much information I can play off of that I think I know about.
Doesn't
Dragon
sound
Liches.
good.
No, it doesn't sound good. So I'm trying to decide: do I play off it doesn't sound good, or do I know a little bit more to know how
Okay,
much
so
more?
yeah, go ahead and roll a history check.
It's not going to be good. Yield +0.
The mention of this to you is very much similar to No. It's a mix between the boogeyman and the apocalypse. Like, every couple generations you walk into a town or a city and they say, the heat's increasing, so this must be the end of the world. Like every so often you hear these doomsday stories and you realize everybody has these tales, but they seem to be just these mythical stories that everybody kind of relies on. So Drakenlich, yeah, sure, you've heard of it, but you've never put any more thought into it as opposed to any of the other craziness that you've heard.
Okay, so then I had a follow-up question, and you can let me know which of the two scales to kind of go with on this. Would I know that if a Dracolich would require a host to become a Drakenlich, or versus creating one from nothing? So do you have a host dragon
at
that you are
11
turning
history
into?
at 11 history you just know that these are
It's
kind
the
of like
boogeyman.
yeah.
Cool.
Mm.
All right, that's all I had.
Valen, on the other hand, takes this very serious. Valen is much more concerned that this is a reality than it is a fable. And has through his adventures had believes wholeheartedly that this is something that people aspire to recreating. And it isn't so much that it is a Draca Lich as just opposed to a Lich itself. All right. Any more questions?
Well, I'm going to go back to asking him some questions.
And then Terry, you have been muted in case you were asking any questions in particular. I was just trying to kind of feed off your role.
So at this point, with my role, I'd assume the rest of the team doesn't know much about Dragon League.
No, I wouldn't say that. The only people that rolled history was Val. Your Goliath kind of immediately had his haunches up, so he knows something. You just happen to know what you know. Your 20 doesn't mean that nobody else knows anything. It just means you happen to know more about this subject than you just happen to know quite a bit about this subject.
So, do we know where Yenful, Draxter, or Yenfer would be, or any of those three would be more vulnerable?
Yenful and Draxter left about a week ago for
Wait, say that again?
for a quest. And Yenful and Draxter left a week ago for a quest that I am not quite familiar with. They have yet to return.
All right, so two of them are gone.
Can you give me a quick description, or if you have the opportunity to give me a quick description of what Yenful and Drasker looked like?
Sure.
Goes deep into the brain.
I think you want a better description than that.
Sorry, that's what I would want.
Yep. No, I figured that's what you were wondering.
Thanks, Viva. Continue. I'll be quiet now.
Please.
Yenfer. What about Yenfer?
Oh, they were not. They were not that. That's amazing, though.
Foiled again.
Damn it! That would have been super fucking clever if I had done that.
That's
though.
what I thought David was going with.
That's
too.
why I was like, oh shit, these two random motherfuckers just showed up and then they got killed and then they were still tied to this shit.
Convenient ones
That's how
that
they knew how to get here.
Yeah.
I'll let you all in on what I sent David.
That's exactly what he told me, and I was like, oh, okay.
NPC 1 and NPC 2.
Your take on it was so much better. That would have been amazing.
Right.
One was a half-wit. One was a...
And gnome who doesn't know his real
They went to
name.
Water's Deep. Who knows what happened to him? That'd have been amazing. And they
Yeah,
had
we
a
don't-
crystal key on him. One of them hit him inside of his bowels. If you guys had just, if anybody checked for him, they would have found it.
Yeah, if only he was ripped to shreds.
Oh, to you guys just to teleport back to dig through his stomach to find out there was nothing there.
I just shaked out my portable hole and see if anything fell out.
Oh, it's in the portable hole the whole time. It fell out. It just so happened to be in the portable hole.
Is this the man you were looking for? Splat.
Ooh. Did I leave that on the
Apparently, being in a portable hole and going through multiple teleportation circles doesn't do the body very well.
God, that'd been funny.
Just ground beef.
Oh.
All right.
Well, I've turned vegetarian. What about Yenfer? You said
What does Yenfer look like?
Where is Yenfer ever alone?
Oh,
or
no.
vulnerable?
I love that you're defaulting to Yenfer.
Is that what he said?
It's close. It is absolutely close, but you're defaulting to that because of Witcher.
Yes, I am. I thought
Yeah.
he said Yenfer.
I think
I heard
I prefer if you
Yenfrol,
Yenfrol?
Jan
Damn it.
Fool, Draxter, and Yenfrol.
Frol? There's an L in there? God, I had Yen
Yep.
Fool.
Can
and I
we
was
go fight the one that'll probably kill us?
Ashford wants to go fight Red Brick.
The Red Rock guy?
Redstone. That's what I wrote it as.
Of
I don't
course, Astrid wants that one. Yenfrol. Yes, he's around. Normally, he is in the library, poring over tomes.
Sounds like Liam.
That sounds like a winner.
But understand, I don't believe that anyone venturing through the tower at this point will be without suspicion, as I believe they are highly suspect. In fact, I do believe Jorgen is onto me.
What's Jargon's deal if that one's if removing two obstacles at once would be ideal?
What's Jorgen's deal?
How skilled of a wizard would you say?
Oh,
I mean, you said like Redstone's the one that's gonna punch. Is Jargon not a
Yeah,
wizard?
Redstone and Jorgen are the two strong ones that we shouldn't be screwing
Well, you
with.
said strong. Is strong like a wizard or strong like a fighter? And then
Does
like,
it matter?
uh,
I mean, it does matter, but at the same
I would
time,
want to
those
know
are the two that would
when we're
probably
about to
be
go.
the hardest to
If
deal
we
with.
need to take care of somebody, I would like to know what we're going up against.
Jorgen is a masterful wizard who should not be taken lightly. I would avoid it at all costs. In fact, I would very much like to avoid any altercation.
Okay.
If you would permit me to make one attempt at getting a blue dragon mask to you here before any alternative moves. This may be a way to circumvent any kind of conflict.
Can I ask a dumb question to the DM? Is there a window in this room?
There is no windows to this room.
There's that balcony.
Mm-hmm. Where is that balcony?
It's like the ice castle where it has that like hidden wall. Anyways, I just on the side, I rolled that insight to see if I feel like he is being truthful when he says he's gonna make an attempt to bring us the dragon mask here.
He's being very sincere for all intents and purposes.
We could avoid conflict as best we can. It sounds like if we were to us going to do something, Yen Frul.
Finish what you're writing him. Saw you. I'm listening.
Yen Frul would be the one that will most likely attempt to go with if we were to avoid conflict. Easier mark, maybe. Does everyone carry their keys on their neck? Anyone carry it in a pocket or on the waist?
See, of all the people, I knew that one. That one was for you when I said that phrase.
Thanks.
He ponders and he doesn't. No, I don't quite know. I keep it here. It's better than around my waist. And Yanful. Used to be Jan Smart until he started keeping his key Eastered, and then now he's Yanful.
We have Yenful and Yenfrul. Which are the two that are gone?
Yanfrul, gone. Draxler, gone.
Frul's gone. Fool is here. Okay.
Yenfrul. But I don't know where his key is. We're not that close.
You don't compare keys normally? Okay.
All right. Well, it sounds like Yenful is
smirking at his
around
own joke.
and might be in the library. If you wish to attempt to go and retrieve the mask, which will require you to get the cooperation of one of the other key holders, how long do you intend for us to try and wait here before we attempt to take matters into our own hands?
20 minutes. There should be no reason otherwise. Please make yourself comfortable in my lair.
If you do not return, are we able to use the portal ourselves, or are we just trapped here?
No, you can use the portals. Just be wary.
Are there instructions on where we need to go?
Oh, simple. Tap. He points to the wall behind you, and the wall behind you has a multitude of different symbols. And he's saying, tap those in. They'll take you to a different floor.
Do you know what floor you'll be going to? And
to the dungeon level, which does require the key. So, You'll need at least one key to get to the dungeon level.
Right. So the question is whose extra key are you planning on having you help you when you get to the dungeon level? What floor are you stopping on?
I'll find out who's there. I don't.
What if it's
I mean-
jargon?
There's no reason for Jorgen to think. I do think he's suspicious, but I'm hoping that he doesn't. So suspicious. You're making me nervous. I just want to get to the basement. My intention is to go down there, and act normal. But the more you put this in my head, the more nervous I think I'm going to be.
You guys, I'm just asking the group, like out of the gate. Am I being dumb here asking these questions? Or...
Always, literally always. If that's your question, it's always.
You're
Simple
freaking me
answer.
out.
All right.
Also, it's Jorgen, not jargon.
Oh, well, jargon is what I said. Jargon is what I wrote down too.
I figured.
You're freaking me out. 20 minutes, but I could be back before the time you finish ending these questions.
I think that's
Good
the
luck.
subtle hint to stop asking them.
Please, for everyone's sake, move away from the portals and let me try to save the world.
Bemo will pat his, lumber off the teleport thing and kind of
Please
pat him.
don't pat your lumber in my chamber.
If only you were so lucky. I will cast guidance on him as a cantrip. So, to give him a little better chance on his next roll.
He grabs the key that is around his neck and he holds it up against one of the symbols on the wall. And
Yo, this shit's like Atlantis.
he disappears.
Now we find out if we have been betrayed.
Well, we are technically now trapped within this room, so we don't have one of the crystal keys to get out of this room.
Yes.
Negative. He said the only way to get to the dungeon was with the crystal key.
So you can go to the other doors without a crystal
Yeah,
key.
but he told you you can hit any of the symbols on the
badge to get to that specific floor.
Yeah, it's his fob.
I'm looking around the room for anything interesting. I'm not touching anything. I just want to just eye up what's in the room.
There's a myriad of books. You see some scrolls. You see
Some skulls.
Scrolls.
Oh, you yawned, so I heard
Yeah.
the books and some skulls.
Some skulls.
Just like,
You know,
damn!
casually. It's like that
It's
edgy
about
goth
the normal decor
going.
and a lair of a dragon
Yeah.
cultist.
He did
See that
mad mage, yeah.
explicitly use the word layer.
Yes.
I just want to point that out.
Oddly, you see an IKEA catalog. Don't know what that's about.
Some of the furniture is missing a piece somewhere. Just slightly off.
Yeah.
I'm rolling to investigate specifically to look for a balcony because in Val's head there should be a balcony somewhere.
Unless it's on a different floor.
It's just what I don't know. I'm looking around.
Or magic inside of a magic tower.
Nah.
By and attached to the room of a wizard. But yeah, so you look around for a physical window or door, and lo and behold, you do not
It might be
find one.
hidden magically somehow, but I'm still going to try and suss it out.
Suspicious.
Pull up my
Yeah.
wand of magic detection and cast detect magic while I'm doing this, so I can maybe.
Ben's
see.
also going to join the book club and sniff it through like the collection.
Okay, so Val, you find no indication. You're very perplexed. There is no balcony anymore. But one of the things that you do is you do your magic detect, right? And much of this room kind of just emanates as if the very essence of the tower itself is laced with magical.
I expected that.
And
Stinky wizards.
yeah, and then investigating high and low, you find some interesting. There's some books. There's those scrolls underneath the bed. You see one sock.
No. Just gonna leave it.
You want to investigate. You rolled a 20, so let me describe exactly what.
No.
We can't find any place that is just not like from the worst bowels of Eva's brain.
Valen, you investigate the books. A lot of it has to do with the history of this area. You don't find it all that enticing except for the part that talks about Zonthal himself, who created the tower. Zonthal had been this wizard who had kind of found, maybe like a magical essence in the area and built this tower and the maze to protect it because his intentions were to create and to bring forth a Dracolich. It seems as though kind of like the story that he had said is checked out through the books, but you don't gain any new information off of that.
The Dracolich they're trying to bring forth, that's not Tiamat, right?
No.
Okay. Got it. So, if my understanding is correct, even within the cultists, they are factions as to which dragon they plead their loyalty to. They pledge
you're
their
starting to see
to?
like even they're fracturing between their beliefs. Some what you're gathering here is that some of the cultists believe that instead of maybe even some believe that they need to resurrect Tiamat. Some believe that their intentions and their true intentions should be to create a Dracolich that would be their deity.
So we could use that in our advantage, sort of, in the future, if we were in a situation where we're communicating with cultists.
Yeah, I think there's like this little tiny thread that kind of is like going through your head that says, yeah, if you create the Dracolich, maybe that's the key to solving this puzzle.
The end of the world if we get there first.
No, what I'm saying is like to the team is, in the future, if we were to if our goal is to create commotions or conflicts or like chaos among the cultists, this element can be something that we can play with. Just let you guys kind of throw it in there. Okay, thank you, DM.
Anybody else? All right.
Not my shtick.
There, as you guys kind of pour over the room and you look and investigate, but apparently, given a mysterious, maybe magical sock, you don't ask any questions. You just ignore it. You guys just kind of stand
especially
around.
when the almighty voice of the creator of this world uses that tone to.
No, I'm just saying. We're just going to ignore it. We're not going to look into it, which could be a very obvious sign. I mean, I did say diamond like 100 times for 3 hours, but no.
You
sock.
said dust.
Sock.
Dang it.
There was a mist, and in the mist it was sparkly. Okay.
Underneath this bed, there's a sparkly sock. But you guys,
I mean, he is a wizard, so like.
of course, it would be full of glitter.
Yeah, it would be full of glitter and shit. Would
You
glow.
start to
He's
you
just
start to
part
hear this
fairy.
humming as the teleportation circle starts to glow.
I get ready.
Prepare my hammer.
I prepare.
And as the light starts to dim, you see this kind of like this shadowy figure emerge, and then the light fades away, and then you see the smiling figure of Iskandar. Fellows, it did not go as well as I had assumed. And he falls to the ground, and and his ropes kind of open up,
Somebody
and
needs to
you
help
see
him.
the giant gaping hole in his chest.
Oh, Jiminy Crickets. Okay, I'll run over.
Aster just. Gee willikers!
That's not what. Listen.
Puts his hand on your wrist and says, "No, you're going to need it."
Up with all these people refusing to live. This is ridiculous.
He hands you crystal key. And that's where we're gonna end tonight.
I take his scrolls.
Yay!
Nice.
Let
That's
the NPCs die.
It's actually a
goddammit.
neat.
No, he's important.
Yeah, our whole
Yeah,
point
like-
was to save him.
Half of the reason they're here
I gotta
is to
say,
literally
this-
save
this-
him.
This new development with knowing their cultists doing different kind of things is really, really interesting.
Yep, the world's not black and white, Valen. It's crazy.
I didn't
No,
make it
but
up.
like,
Yeah, no, I get you. I'm agreeing with the sentiment because I know I've been dealing with the whole idea that like even within the different races of creatures within the sword or in D&D, like not every single one falls into the same category, and like you can have variation. So like even within the different factions, there's variation of people.
what I thought all these time was the sole existence of the cult was to revive Tiamat, but apparently the history of the cult goes even longer to in the past, and they've tried to done things. They've tried to have a different goal than just about Tiamat. So that's actually very interesting. So
So was the
I
finish?
guess
Sorry.
my question is, well, as a player, my question I want to pursue from this point on is, in the future, if we ever had another chance to communicate with the cultists, I want to find out is exactly what their ultimate goal is about the cult, because apparently reviving Tiamat, it's only a matter of means, not the actual end goal. Otherwise, that would be the only purpose of existence for a cult.
Yeah. I think it also would depend on who you ask. Like if you capture a cultist and you ask them that question, what's your goal? Then I think that's going to be different than if you ask a cultist in a different region, which is plays to like their ability to, kind of do different things. But yeah. Agreed.
I did roll to like investigate the body, and I took his scrolls.
Bro,
Ain't even cold yet.
He just saw fall over, and he's just
He's like in the
yoink,
process of
just like,
dying, and
Not
Liam's
in
over
the
in his
process of
fucking
dying.
pockets.
I made sure for sure he is dead. Oh, we're not saving him.
He was actively dying. He had
He was
enough breath
actively
to say, like, no,
he's
I
either
don't want to be
actively
healed,
dying-
Astrid.
He said, no,
Don't
and then
heal
Viva
me,
said,
Paladin,
and then
I
he died.
refuse.
That means he's
Here,
dead.
take
He's no
my
longer
last-
actively
with my
dying.
last
He
breath,
is dead.
take this crystal
We're not
key.
saving him. I'm taking the
He's
scroll.
like,
We're gonna check the body.
give me your
you
shit.
guys can be mad at me all you want, but you all think the same way. You just aren't the rogue. I get it. I understand. I'll be the dick in this situation, but I have to do what I have to do, and this is it. Scrolls were there. We're gonna check the body.
You could have waited till next session.
No, I had to.
Nope.
It's right on top of mine. I have to do it right now. I have to be the
Put a note-
scumbag.
Put a note saying at the start of next
I
session.
put it in there. It's in my notes too. But I had to put it in.
I
We're still streaming.
appreciate the very roguey nature of.
I can't fight the rogue parts.
Oh, this guy's in the act of. Oh, he's bleeding a little. He must be dead. Let me just steal his shit.
No, we did not. I said I waited until Viva said he is dead. We're like, are we gonna save him? All right, we'll see. Are we saving him? No. Viva says, let the NPC die. Da, 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 da.
I have a
And
paper cut. Please don't let me die.
Oh, no,
Yoink.
don't stop.
There. I'm helping. I'm trying to find the wound. Putting things in my pocket.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, is this some cheese from the Feywild score?
That's not my
I
fault.
approve.
That's
I
you giving
approve.
me an
I
addiction.
approve. I liked it. I said, of course.
I'm playing to the addiction that Viva told me. He told me I'm addicted to it. What do you want? I'm playing to the disadvantage.
I approve. I
Legit.
love it.
I'm being upfront. I did it.
Yeah.
I didn't take anything when he was still there or alive or anything. I just was looking around. Any books of interest or anything like that? Take it.
I'm still gonna
Viva's
try to
already
save the
playing
guy.
Destiny. He's not going to tell you
No,
what's
I'm
in that
not.
right now.
I'm not playing.
I saw the Steam notification, you punk.
All right.
I accidentally clipped it because I accidentally clicked it. I'm not playing. I don't play that game.
Before we go, I do want to say, goats and sheep are in the same family as animals, and they
Did we
both have.
Google it?
And yeah, I did Google it.
Why? It's just-
Let it go. Oh,
And they have
Never let
they
it
have
go.
the same eyes.
Every
as
argument is worth
long as they
dying
taste
over.
differently, I won't agree they're the same animal. Let it go.
Did you taste both of them?
I've tasted
Okay,
several.
all right. Close the stream.
golden
It was
sword.
good.
Goodbye, everybody.
We made it so much further than last time. We actually made it to the tower instead of spending 6 years on the bull and the
Hey, you
gas.
guys were moving so quickly through the hedge maze. I was like, fuck. Like I had to start reading the Zonthal Tower stuff just to refresh on how to do it.
Good night,
Kinda
everybody
like,
in stream.
what a change of pace.